This video is for class 7 and on the topic hardware components of the computer. Now we already had discussed about the external parts of the computer, and this video will be on the internal parts of the computer.
The term computer hardware refers to all the mechanical and electronic parts of a computer system. As you know, some body parts are inside our body, like brain, heart, lungs, kidney, etc. Similarly, even the computer has some parts located inside the system cabinet. If you open the CPU of your computer or the system cabinet of your computer, this is how it will look like. A cabinet or a case has several important internal components. Let's see some of the internal components in this video. The first internal device is motherboard. The motherboard is the main board and one of the essential components of computer system. It holds many of the crucial electronic components like processor, sockets, and interface to plug RAM, hard drives, disk drives, and optical drives. The BIOS and CMOS are present on the motherboard. The BIOS is considered to be interface between the operating system and the motherboard. It is stored in ROM. CMOS chip saves some system information like time and system date. CMOS is kept powered by a button battery on the motherboard. Now the computer, when you switch off the computer or switch on the computer displays correct date and time. Now ever wondered how? It's because of CMOS. The CMOS chip is on even when computer is switched off. Next internal hardware component is CPU or microprocessor. Now CPU is the main component of the computer. It is basically a 2-inch square with a silicon chip located inside. CPU fits into the motherboard CPU socket. It is covered by the heat sink to absorb heat from the CPU. Now if you look at the picture in the previous slide of the motherboard, you will be able to locate where exactly the CPU is located. The CPU performs the task that allows the computer to function properly. It receives input, controls the different actions to be performed, and sends the output. Now examples of some of the processors are Pentium chips. The CPU consists of 3 components. CPU is divided into 3 different components. The first one is CU, that is the control unit. Now control unit, as the name says, it controls the information, data, or flow that happens inside the processing device. It's like a traffic police who manages the traffic of the data. The next one is ALU, that is arithmetic logic unit. Now as the name suggests, it performs all the arithmetic and logical calculations, whether it is addition, subtraction, or finding less than or greater than data. It is done in ALU. And the third one is MU, that is the memory unit. Memory unit is used, it is engaged in storing the data in the CPU. So basically MU is used to store data temporarily or permanently. Primary memory. Primary memory of the computer is also called as the main memory or internal memory. Now this memory has some of the characteristics. Firstly, this memory can be directly accessed by the CPU. Secondly, this memory is very fast. And thirdly, any process to be executed has to be first loaded into the primary memory. That means before any process, you need to get access to this memory. Now primary memory again is divided into two. That means there are two kinds of primary memories. Firstly, it's RAM, that is random access memory, and ROM. So let's discuss this too. First primary memory is ROM, that is read-only memory. As the name suggests, you can only read this memory. You cannot write on it. You cannot do any changes on it. This is used to store the data and information permanently. Programs are stored on ROM chips when a computer is manufactured itself. You can only read the information from the ROM. Any new information cannot be written on it. ROM is a non-volatile memory, meaning as the data remains stored even if the power is switched off, it's permanent. The information which is stored on the ROM is permanent. Now there are different kinds of ROM, like there is a PROM, that programmable read-only memory. There is EPROM, erasable programmable read-only memory, and EEPROM, that is electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Random access memory or RAM. Now RAM holds the data temporarily. The information can be read or written on it. RAM is a volatile memory as the data disappears when the power is switched off. This memory is also called as read and write memory, as you can read as well as you can do changes on it. Now, the more RAM you have in your computer, more multitasking you can do. If you do not have enough RAM, your computer will be slow when you have several programs open. Hard disk. A hard disk is one of the most important secondary memory devices. Now, data is stored on the hard disk in the digital format. It has a rotating magnetic disk protected by a hard cover. It is divided into a number of tracks and sectors that store data. Hard disks can store large amount of data. RAM and hard drive have unique relationship. Your hard drive is the place where you store all your data. Your pictures, your audio files, your PPTs, documents, everything is stored in hard drive. Now when the computer tells you that you are running out of space, it is because your hard drive is full. Now even all the data that makes up your videos, pictures, your project files with 3D models or which makes up the game, they all are stored in hard drive. Hard drives have huge storage capacity, but relatively they are very bad to access that data quickly. So everything is accessed through a small wire, and that is why we use RAM. Now RAM is another form of storage, but it has a less capacity to store. Now I will explain you this with an example. Imagine you have a massive storage house wherein you are storing lots of things, and it has only a small door to access. Now if you want to find something and take it out quickly, then it will be difficult, isn't it? You will find it, and through a small access it will take a lot of time. But at the same time, say suppose you have a storage with a wide storage house with a bigger doors. Maybe the capacity is less, but the access to it will be easier. So that is the difference between the RAM and the hard drive. Now here you can see a RAM, a CPU and a hard drive. Now hard drive has larger capacity, let's say around 100 GB it stores, and RAM has comparatively less capacity, that is 16 GB. Now in hard drive the files are already stored. Now when you are running a program, your CPU will identify the files which are there and which it needs to run a particular program. It will identify the files and it will take it or transfer it to the RAM. And from RAM it is going to access. Now RAM will give access to these files more easily. Now often it is said when your computer is not performing well or if it is slow, definitely you increase the size of the RAM. So definitely at that the accessibility of the CPU to the data will be more and the performance of your computer will be better. So the more memory you have, your performance of your computer will be better. External device is SMPS. SMPS stands for Switched Mode Power Supply. Now SMPS provides power to all internal components of the computer. When the computer is turned on, the power supply converts the incoming AC voltage into low voltage DC supply. The SMPS also protects the computer from sudden surge and spikes in the power. The next internal device is fan. Now fan is inside the computer cabinet. It prevents the internal components from overheating. It maintains the flow of air inside the case. The fan can push the warm air outside and pull air from outside and also move the air inside to cool the parts. Are the mediator or interface between the computer system and other peripheral devices, meaning the devices which are attached to it. The computer ports along with cables connect various external hardware devices like monitor, keyboard, mouse, etc. So in short, ports are the slots on the motherboard into which a cable of peripheral device is plugged in. Now you can see here many types of ports. So the first type of port is a serial port. Now serial port is a port which is used to connect mouse, keyboard or modem. Of course, these days most of the PCs use USB port for it. The parallel port was used to connect the old printers. Then we have PS2 port. This you must have mostly seen in the old CPUs. This was used to connect mouse and the keyboard. And the VGA connector. This port is the one which monitor is connected to. So these are some of the ports, which nowadays, of course, it's less in use. USB port allows all USB devices to be connected to each other. It transfers digital data over USB cables. Now it can also supply electric power to the cables to the devices which are connected. The both wired and wireless version of USB are available. However, only the wired version involves USB ports and cables. Now, most of the PCs nowadays use USB port and they have around, 2 USB ports. The next port is LAN port. Now LAN port allows your computer to get connected to the network. So if you have a computer network and you need to connect, you need this port at that time. The next one, you can see audio plugs, which are used to connect microphones and speakers. Now, if you look at the picture, you will clearly see these plugs wherein it is written as speakers and microphones. Then you have a HDMI port, which is used to connect the projector. Next internal hardware device is graphic card. Have you ever wondered how do you get images, 3D images on the screen? Well, there is a lot of calculations which happen where the program code which is written by the programmer is converted into the numbers zeros and ones. And then these numbers are converted to the images, and it's a task to put these images on the screen. Now, it is possible for motherboard to do it, but there might be no clarity in the image. So that is why we use graphic card. Now, graphic card in itself is like a computer which is completely dedicated to display the images. Graphic card also decides a lot of things like how many pixels will be required, and overall, like all decisions related to the displaying of images are taken by this graphic card. Now imagine if you're playing a game wherein the screen is quite busy and it's a quite hi-fi game. Now how this is created? Now this is created by the CPU. So CPU creates this world for you. It creates this world by loading the required file from the RAM, which it gets from the hard disk. But it is the graphic card which will put it on the screen, or it is a graphic card which actually makes it look the way it is. A sound card is an expansion card that allows the input and output of audio signals to or from a computer. And the next one is a network card which we use. Network card is again an expansion card that facilitates the computer to communicate over a computer network by using cables or even wireless. This was the last part of our first topic, hardware components of the computer. In this lesson, we have covered the most important parts, internal parts of the computer.